The Manhattan Project was the code name for the top-secret effort by the United States to develop an atomic bomb during World War II. Some of the finest and most original scientists of the first half of the 20th century participated in the project, including Niels Bohr, Richard Feynman, Enrico Fermi, Leo Szilard, and Ernest Lawrence. Albert Einstein, who did not work directly on the project, was instrumental in setting it in motion. In a famous letter in 1939 to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Einstein warned the president of the alarming possibility of Nazi Germany building a nuclear weapon. Despite this warning, however, the United States was initially slow to commit itself to producing a nuclear bomb. It was only after the U.S. entered the war in December of 1941, following the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor, that the country fully threw itself into the endeavor of building the world's first atom bomb. Aided by the United Kingdom, Canada, and by scientists fleeing fascist Europe, the Manhattan Project grew to become a massive effort involving well over 100,000 people. Work on the project was carried out in a number of different universities and laboratories around the United States, including the University of Chicago's Metallurgical Laboratory, where Italian physicist Enrico Fermi supervised the world's first self-sustaining nuclear chain reaction on December 2nd, 1942. Another center of activity was Ernest Lawrence's Radiation Laboratory in Berkeley, California, where fissionable uranium-235 was produced and samples of a new element, plutonium, were made that also proved to be fissionable. The most famous laboratory of the Manhattan Project, however, was the Los Alamos Laboratory, located on a plateau northwest of Santa Fe, New Mexico. Led by the charismatic theoretical physicist Robert Oppenheimer, the Los Alamos Laboratory was where the most important steps were taken to produce the atom bomb. Trinity, the first nuclear test in history, took place on July 16, 1945 in a stretch of desert in New Mexico known as Jornada del Muerto. The bomb was nearly 2,000 times more powerful than the most powerful conventional bomb used so far in the war. Less than a month after the test, on August 6, 1945, a uranium bomb named Little Boy was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan, with devastating results. 3 days later, a plutonium bomb, Fat Man, was dropped on the Japanese city of Nagasaki. On August 15th, Japan surrendered, thereby ending World War II.
Three days after the Hiroshima bomb, despite all the destruction, Japan still hadn't surrendered. A second bomb was made ready, and Truman issued another warning.
The world will note that the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, a military base. If Japan does not surrender, bombs will have to be dropped on war industries. I urge Japanese civilians to leave industrial cities immediately and save themselves from destruction. I realize the tragic significance of the atomic bomb. Having found the atomic bomb, we have used it. We have used it against those who attack us without warning at Pearl Harbor, against those who have starved and beaten and executed American prisoners of war, against those who have abandoned all pretense of obeying international laws of warfare. We have used it in order to shorten the agony of war, in order to save the lives of thousands and thousands of young Americans.
The second bomb was intended for the city of Kokura, but it was too cloudy, so the plane moved on to Nagasaki. Desperately short of fuel, the crew released the bomb despite more clouds. The bomb missed the aiming point and fell into a valley. This time there was no firestorm, but even so, more than 50,000 people were killed.